Welcome to episode 16 of Enmity Podcast. We are here today with Aikion, myself, Raging Rondo, Big, the resident, we'll just call him a billionaire. I don't think he has that much yet, but if it makes him happy, that's money in the bank for me, right?
Oh, and it does make me happy.
And Talons, our resident, well, he's not really a trio. Let's be nice to him tonight. Our Sith Talons. How does that sound? Tonight we are going to have our GSF. We're going to go over the GF player created content one more time very quickly with Talons because he was not happy that we did it without him the over the holiday. And we're going to talk average Joe Scoundrel Talk with Aikion. I wanted to say operative because that's the real thing right there. We love operative scoundrels not so much, but since they're sort of tied together, we'll let them talk about it. How about that? We're gonna go over a little bit of Reddit news, and we're gonna play a game with Big again because he has a couple more questions for us. We are brought to you by Ultra Sabers. I have my super cool Ultra Saber here, just like Talons. He points backwards. Mine makes noise, and it's blue. Even though, whoa, did I, by getting a blue, okay, forget it. I stole this from Luke Skywalker when it fell off of Cloud City, okay? That's what really happened. Um, Makes noises, super cool, fun. This is a stolen artifact. I actually am Sith, okay? We'll go with
Admit it, we got a traitor in our midst.
that. Shish!
And we're also brought to you by Amazon Prime. Visit 42gaming/prime. With Amazon Prime, you get access to free shipping, free second-day shipping on almost all products, and also you get access to over thousands of videos with including movies and TV shows. So again, visit 42gaming/prime, free 30-day trial, and cancel anytime.
What we're going to do this week is, like I said, Towns was a little bit perturbed that we talked GSF player created content without him since he's sort of
I was more than a little.
he was more than a little perturbed. So we're going to give him a chance. So let me recap with you. Last week, if you have not watched it yet, we had a great segment where we talked the viability of player created content for Galactic Starfighter, where they've decided that they're not doing PvE. So we said, why don't you hand some of the development tools to us, the players, and let us come up with the PvE content? And we talked about it. Go back and see it. You can see everything that we talked about with GSF. That's in episode 15. Now, Talons, I think he probably brings a lot more to the table since he plays this a lot more. So how I said a lot. What is it about me and like the worst talking grammar? Like I'll just say a lot a bunch of times. Anyways, Talons, go for it. What do you think about this? And do you think that this would make the GSF more viable for a long-term gaming experience?
I have mixed feelings about it. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I play it a lot. Um, hasn't been released yet, so it's hard to judge what's gonna be brought out with that, or what's to come. Hopefully, a lot because the things that I'll tell you right now where it's lacking is obviously there's only two maps, so it gets extremely boring just playing those over and over. And it's extremely unbalanced right now. The queues, you almost always get either a team where you just roll the other team or vice versa. So, I think that they could do a lot better devising a system that groups you into rankings based on, they could base it on a lot of things: kill death ratios, win loss ratios, gear, stuff like that. Um, but like I said, that might be something that they're planning on doing. But for now, it's pretty one-sided when you group. I've been grouping up with some of my friends that I met through GSF, because what you do get used to is the names of the people that kill you a lot, or vice versa. The
Right.
the other team, you get used to the Republic side that can actually hold their own. So we started teaming up with this group, and it's just bad when we're together because I mean we just dominate.
But what do you think that player created? PvE content could bring to the game. And I think that's kind of what we talked about last week. Something where a guy who could create his own content, put it out, he can be upvoted, downvoted. You can give him cartel coins for doing it. He adds a lot more of a social basis to it. Do you feel like that's something that is viable for a long term to help people invest in it and maybe even get more involved in GSF? Because I'll be honest with you, I played it for 2 days with you and every now and then, but it's not something that I queue for. It's not something that I really enjoy, but something that I could create something or do things where other people create. And we were also talking about maybe adding vents that make you go faster, and then now you have your GSF, your GSF pod racing sort of feel. I mean, do you think that this is something like just hand us a couple development tools? Is this like, do you see that as viable, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, and I was actually talking about it with the group of people I've been playing GSF with, because I mean I'll agree with you. It's fun. It's a fun game. It's a great idea. The controls are nice once you get used to them. It's a well-made game, but they just need to do more with it. You get bored really easily. You know, you do your dailies, you do your two missions, and you're ready to be done with it.
Right.
So I definitely think it's viable. You know, I was talking to them, and they both agreed that it seems very doable, not on the wall of crazy. At least it shouldn't be. Um, do I see this game doing? I don't really see anything else like that in this game. You know, they just don't have a lot of sandbox kind of stuff
Hmm.
in this game. So whether or not they'll do it or not, that's another question. But I definitely think it's doable and a great idea. I think when you leave something like that up to the players, who knows what you'll get from it. You know, other games have done it very successfully. In fact, it's been
Boundary
the
in
most successful
Neverwinter.
part of some games. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we were talking about that before. I mean, it's probably the most successful part of that game, and most often it is because you're allowing the players to invest in the game and create their own worlds. And then, like you said, you're allowing other players to either, you know, upvote or downvote or, you know, give them a pat on the back and gives them kind of it'll
It
strengthen
invests them
community,
in the
adds
game.
to right exactly. And again, it'll strengthen community, have people uh, you know, it'll have people talking more about maps that they've made and stuff like that, and telling people to come check out their scenarios and stuff.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do this week is we posted it up last week, and I got tells and whispers, blah blah blah, whatever, of people saying it was a great idea, and then I go and I check on our topic that was posted underneath our video, and nobody put up. So I guess it's easy to throw out an idea, but it's hard to get people to back that idea. So I'm gonna put that up again, and I challenge you just to click on the button, and say bravo, good job. We think that is something that is a decent idea. And maybe they will go and watch the podcast, see what we said, because like I said last week, you got to attack the wallet. You got to attack their wallet. And when you get people buying cartel coins just so they can give them away, I feel like that idea added into it would be great. Adding the ability to buy a larger asteroid than a smaller asteroid to add into your map, I think is a great idea. So you got to attack their wallet, attack their wallet, attack their wallet, and with your process. And you also have to show that there's people that are behind this idea. So yet again, we're going to post the link underneath this video, um, and go ahead and just put something small words. That's a great idea. This is also something I would do. Anything, anything we would
Well, yeah,
appreciate
I
it.
think also, you know, just to kind of chime in on what you're saying, that the reason that the whole, you know, we've gone over some other concepts of PvE, operation style and flashpoints and stuff, and or even open sandbox guild ships when they come, being able to go attack other people, and that's just probably never going to happen, just because it's something that it that it makes BioWare have to, you know, produce that material. And what you're talking about is just a canvas to
Yeah.
allow the players to join in and to create their own. you're not asking BioWare to create a whole nother game essentially, because that's what it would be if they did a whole PvP side or PvE side of this.
Okay, and like Aikion, you can chime in. You don't have to just put it in the comments. You said start it with something smaller. I mean, what do you mean? Like maybe the
Yeah,
ability to
like
make up a guild emblem or something? I don't know.
if you could design your own patterns or design like hats for the ground game, because I know hats are big in Team Fortress. So, I mean, it's just if you could start with the smaller little items, maybe if you can get the community behind the player generated content like that, you could get into the larger maps and like scenarios generation for something like that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Let's start small. I think that is a great idea. Um, Instead of being able to create your own map, the ability to create an emblem or a hat, as you said, or um, a tabard. What about a tabard? We had them in World of Warcraft. You could put on a tabard that resembled your guild, but I think that's what more of an emblem would be like. But anyways, um,
What about speeders as well? I mean, yeah, if they're doing that, they could be limitless, lightsabers, weapons as well.
yeah,
I mean, you
I'd
just
like
have
to
to.
design my own blaster.
yeah, and then it could be the real Aikion, and it would be better than the Aikion they provide, right? I don't know.
And the one they provided was pretty good, but
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like especially dual wielding on my Merc. That looks pretty cool.
Well, okay.
Well, if you guys see flashing, it's definitely blaster fire and not a
Right.
photo shoot going on.
It's cool, man. It's cool. Anyways, so let's move on. And so this is something that we provided that we would talk to you guys about last week, where we're now to the point where there were certain parts about this generating new or how things should work, where they put one or two people involved. In order to do it when we're talking about classes, and that was the class what do they call them, representative system, and we, I think, genuinely decided that it did not work. Um, Maybe there just wasn't enough people behind it. They listened to a few things, but they didn't listen to all. So we decided we were going to start bringing people on to talk about their class and what they feel that BioWare could do to fix their class. And we want to hear from operatives, assassins, and even some like sorcerers, or the. I'm sorry, I'm talking Imperial side, of course. There's also a Republic side to that that you guys can talk about too and come on. And we did. We got a scoundrel on today. The leader of scoundrels. Oh, that bad
It's a
man,
dirty, rotten
Aikion.
scoundrel.
Yeah, that dirty, rotten scoundrel, Aikion from that guild, Jedit. And what do you think, Aikion? Well, first of all, so we hit our 2 year. Have you been playing the scoundrel for the entire 2 years?
my Scoundrel was my first character that I rolled. I did do some in early access and in the tail end of the beta. I created a few characters, but my Scoundrel's been my main character on live.
So you know something about scoundrels. You've been raiding with them. You've probably done some PvP a little bit. Would you say?
I've played all aspects of the Scoundrel in from the very start to the very till right now. I was there when we had a guy named Backtap on my server, was an operative. He could drop anybody in the game in a PvP match in probably about 4 GCDs.
Nice. Yeah, and so we decided to have you on tonight because, like we said, they've become viable. I mean, I would say very viable. And you talk about dirty fighting, as in, well, you told us earlier that you said they don't need to change anything with dirty fighting when it comes to PVE content. So, what do you think that they could do with your class to make it better?
As for PvE, Scoundrel healers and Scoundrel DPS that play the dirty fighting spec, and I believe that's the lethality spec over for the operatives,
Yes.
they're in a very good position. Probably the best healing class in PvE and PvP at the moment. Maybe needs to be toned down a little bit, but for the most part, I would not make any major structural change.
I say, hey, you don't need to go that far, but yeah, I'd say they are
I
the
think
best.
that he's right. I think they do need to bring you guys down a little bit. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I'd like to see the other classes brought up, possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, because no one likes to be nerfed,
I
so
think
you can
any
bring the
OP
other
class
classes up a
usually
little bit.
says that. Any OP class says, "Don't nerf
I
me, make everyone better."
I can name one thing that I would like to see removed from the Scoundrel's Sawbones tree, and that's the scramble talent. That
Can you
has
explain
no
that for
business
us
being
that
in
aren't
that
on
tree.
the tree?
It's a talent that every time you're attacked, it reduces the cooldown of your dodge ability. It essentially means that if you're under a constant fire, every 15 seconds you get to dodge off all the dots that are on.
And what does that mean for PvP as a healer?
For PvP, that means all the dot classes that are on you every 15 seconds. And if you're talented for it, and I think it's 3 to 4 seconds, probably 4 seconds with the dot. So that's 4 seconds that no sniper can hit you, no power tech can hit you, no dots while you wipe all their dots.
That would
Well,
explain a
but
lot when I'm trying
it's
to take
also
down
just
on my pyro.
it's only the basic attacks. It's not like force or tech. It's only melee or ranged attacks. But and
Yeah,
that's
which a
yeah,
lot
and
of
I
the
actually do.
gunslinger and sniper attacks.
Yeah, and actually I get that set bonus for PvP. I get the healing set bonus, and I get the extra second of that for my healer in PvP as well, and that actually makes up a lot of difference for survivability as well.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, but
as
like I
you're
said,
saying, you guys have great
I'd
survivability as it is.
yeah, that talent is not needed over in that tree. That talent should be over in dirty fighting probably because dirty fighting has problems in PvE. Oh, sorry, PvP settings for stuff like that. So I would move that talent over there.
You know what I like about dirty fighting or lethality though when it comes to PvP? I feel as if that's how an operative would fight. I just love it. I feel like I'm throwing bombs over here and I'm attacking somebody over here and everybody's fighting and I feel like I'm jumping around, kiting them away from me, taking them away from other like massive. I would say I love dirty fighting in PvP and like I said, I'm not a full up there when it comes to PvP. I've been doing a lot of low levels getting ready for this interview. And I just think that when you talk about any class that plays like it should in the universe, I really feel like this class plays like an operative would play in the universe.
Yeah, I wouldn't make any major structural changes to dirty fighting for PvP. It needs some more survivability. How you would get that in there, I'm not certain. The dirty fighting change would be welcome. Um, I don't know. It needs something.
Well,
It's
they
it's
have
almost there. It just needs a little more.
hot-wired defenses, which is increases the amount of damage over by the defense screen by 15%. And I think your
It's
defense
not
screen
enough
it isn't. No. You know what though? I feel like
because like
when I see them fighting, a lot of people are starting to fight up in your face with that one instead of kiting. And do you think that makes a difference too, from kiting
well, you
to?
have no both the scoundrel DPS and the operative DPS trees have no AoE reduction. There is dot reduction over in dirty fighting that helps in PvP, but you have no AoE reduction. You're the only melee class, I believe, except I believe one of the power tech trees does not. I forget which one. But you're up there in melee. You're getting hit by smash. You're getting hit by all the AoE attacks that are hitting other people too, and you're taking a lot of damage.
I see
Would
how
that
that
be a
could
potential way
be.
to fix it?
Yeah, I can see where that. I mean, what do you think, Big? I think that that could help them, and it's something I've noticed too when I'm trying to take a node in a PvP match where I just keep getting just bursted down.
But dirty
Well,
fighting isn't as bad as Scrapper.
But
Oh, sorry, Big. Go for it.
Isn't
Make your.
Scrapper? Okay, sorry. Yeah, we'll move on to that after Big.
no, I would say since I only heal, I don't really have too much of an issue of staying alive while I'm trying to guard a node. So
Right. Well, okay, so, but isn't Scrapper meant to hit like about 3 times and then go away for a while? Isn't that sort of, isn't it a node
There's
hunter rather than deliberate attacking for over a period of time?
and that can be a very viable strategy. The problem is that the lone wolf gameplay, if you're gonna look at every class in the game, there's one class that does it better than us, and that's Infiltration Shadows. And I don't know the reverse mirror class for that because they hit harder than us. They can put out more damage in 3 or 4 GCDs than an operative or a scoundrel could just dream about. They
Shoot,
have
they're
much better
nasty.
defensive cooldowns. They also their blackout ability becomes a mini defensive cooldown while they're stealth. They have buffs that they get. They can actively control how much DPS output that they're putting out and save it up, stun you, and then unload on you, unlike an operative or scoundrel.
I think it's Deception Assassins. I think it's the equivalent. But yeah, I mean, I'd say they, even though they do have a little bit more burst, I mean, I think I have just as much issues with, scoundrels or operatives, as well too as a healer. I mean, as an operative healer, I mean, I think they're probably my biggest challenge in PvP as of late this past month or so. They're the ones that it's just can't really seem to get away from, and really either have to make me vanish and get out of there, or just able to get other people burned down while I'm trying to keep myself alive.
Well, I think
Oh
if
yeah,
you
one v
do
one
two
in
operatives or scoundrels, I mean, you're done. If you have two of those on you, that's where I was with a guy who was doing operative also, well, he was doing lethality, or what do you call that? What is that tree called again? Dirty fighting. So he was doing
35.
lethality, like I was, or your version of dirty fighting, and we were just taking people out like nobody's business. We would pop out, boom, 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 gone, poof, smoke. It was probably one of the funnest times I've had as a melee PvPer since I played a rogue in World of Warcraft.
For leveling, Scrapper is probably the best PvP DPS spec. It's very hard to match while leveling. At max level, it suffers from the lack of auto crits and crit in general on its main abilities, and that your burst ability is tied to being in stealth. And it's so long to get out of combat in a lot of situations that it's not worth trying to run off and get back into stealth.
Does it seem like it's been that broken, or I don't know? It just seems like it, as of late, like the past couple months, it takes longer to actually get out of stealth. That you're, in combat stays a lot further in range, and I don't remember ever seeing anything about that. But I just noticed that as trying to get away, and like you said, certain times when you can't just vanish out right away, trying to run away, and I don't know if it's
I
just
think
me. I
it's
don't know if
tied
anyone
to
else is.
dots and hots, I believe, that's causing the problem. I'm not. I was in a Warzone arena and I was up against either a Scoundrel operative, I forget which, but they were actually in stealth and they were trying to avoid us because they were the last one alive on our team. And I tagged him with a dot right away, and he got it off and he got away from me with Scamper, and he was back into stealth inside of maybe 6 seconds. And it just boggled my mind that he could get back into stealth that fast without popping dirt disappearing act, because that was the second time I found him. As far as 1v1 goes, they're very good in that department. If you're up against a healer 1v1, you're not necessarily supposed to be able to kill them outright, I don't think. There's a lot of hard classes. I'm not sure which is the hard and soft counters for the Scoundrel, as you would traditionally say. But I feel that in group scenarios, they die way too fast. If you've got two people, two DPS, and you want to take out a Scoundrel, there's not a whole lot that they can do to prevent their death, and they're going to last a lot less time versus any other class I can imagine. A Sork, I would say, is a little bit squishier, but then they're at range, and then they can speed away, and then they got the bubble that prevents their death. And so they can prolong it for a period of time that you just can't get with a Scoundrel, because if you disappear, that's great, but a lot of times if you don't get the Scamper off out of range right afterwards, they're going to knock you out of stealth with an AoE at point blank.
What about adding a skill? And I know I'm talking crazy here. Um, on either the dirty fighter or fighting or the scrapper that allows your diagnostic scan to do more than it does. Because here's what I'm saying. I'm playing in low level and my regular heal will go off at maybe like 3,000, right? Because I'm not in Sawbones or our version of of a healing class, they it ticks for like 100. It ticks for nothing compared to what, say, if I was in like a mercenary and I switched over to my other cylinder and hit them with my rapid shots, I would do like I would say probably about 4 times to 5 times more healing than you guys do with your diagnostic scan with then because it doesn't hit that hard unless you're a healer.
Now, I've played Scoundrel long enough and Scrapper long enough. I loved Scrapper pre 2.0, and I think this is a case where they had a good ability and talent in the Scrapper tree that they sort of nerfed for no reason when 2.0 came around. I don't know if you remember in 1.0 and the patches leading up to 2.0 that the pugnacity and I believe it's stim boost over on your side where you had to maintain that all the time. Do you remember that ability?
Yeah.
And they
What?
turned it into a
Just
cooldown in
explain it for
2.0.
people who might not understand.
Okay, for people that don't understand, it grants you, well, now it grants you a stack of upper hand or technical advantage when you use it, and increases your alacrity for 15 seconds, I believe is what it is, on a 2-minute cooldown. Before 2.0, it was an actual ability that you had to keep up, and it cost an upper hand stack to keep it up when you did it. And it would grant you, I forget what it would grant you, increased damage, I think, for the duration of the ability. So they took it and they took it from a static buff that you had to maintain and turned it into a cooldown. Now this wouldn't have been a problem for dirty fighting or not dirty fighting and sawbones because they didn't really have any talents tied to that except dirty fighting did, but it they changed that around too, but in a good way. Whereas Scoundrels, Scrappers, and Concealment, I believe, over on your side, they had a ability that generated healing while you maintained pugnacity, and I believe it was 15, 30 seconds. And every 3 seconds it ticked, you got 2% of your health back. So when they flipped it over to a cooldown, they doubled it to 4%, but the duration is only 15 seconds now total every 2 minutes. So it's a 2 minute cooldown that provides, you would think, 20% of your life, but it doesn't provide 20% because the last tick is bugged and never goes off. So it provides 16% of your life for a cooldown. And that's a whole talent point just to get that. 16% of your health on a 2 minute cooldown, that takes a whole talent point to get.
So 16%
So,
on a and so you're talking at I'm just trying to make it here. So we're talking so if you have 35 um thousand health or 30,000 in PvP, like wherever you would use this, probably about 30,000 ish. That's about 3k life on a geared PvPer. That's like nothing. I hit you with that with my
like
rapid fire.
5,000. It's a 5,000 heal.
Oh yeah,
5,000
yeah,
heal
yeah.
every
Okay.
2 minutes, where the
But
Sorks have their self heal that does a lot more than
but it
that.
goes to like
And I'm not
10k.
saying you need to give us a self heal. I'd like the old surprise comeback back, and I believe it's called Revitalizers over on your side. Give it back,
Yeah.
but make it an effect for upper hand tactical advantage.
Yeah, I mean, for a healer, that old ability, the way they had it, was kind of a, I noticed the stim boost for the operative. Yeah, it was just annoying because, like you said, it was something you constantly had to have up, and yeah, it was just annoying. So I definitely liked it, the way they changed it. It's more of an, you use it as a cooldown when things go wrong, so I can get the extra tactical advantage back up. But yeah, I just never realized that it affected the DPS like that when they changed that around.
Yeah, you took a constant stream of 2% healing every 3 seconds, pretty much for a scrapper, and you turned it into a 16% every 2 minutes.
So you're
Yeah,
saying that it
yeah. I mean,
benefits? I mean, because I can hear him on this big. I can see that he has a good point where Talons, maybe we can ask you a question here really quick. Do you feel like that's fair when it comes to your self heal that you get in PvP as a sorcerer? Which will, I mean, I think I can hit 10k with that sucker.
no, but remember,
Oh
operatives, the
yeah.
healer class didn't get to benefit that. It was only the DPS class that did.
Oh, you're right.
We had to use that system. We had to use that system just to maintain it, so we'd get again, I forget what the exact benefit of it was, but it was just something you had to keep up every, all the time. If you didn't have it up, you'd just be healing less essentially, less energy and that type of stuff. So, it's only for the DPS. Did it
Oh, it
really?
was energy regen, is what it was.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, on Talon's side, um, when they bring this up compared to like I don't know how much DPS you've done. I know you've done a little bit of DPS talents. Do you feel like there is similar issues on the Sork side of things when it comes to this?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's some obvious issues, but you mean you're talking about the self heal being
Yeah.
on a well, I mean, in PvP it can, I guess it can keep you up long enough to kill the other person if you're 1v1, but I think Aikion, already stated that the Sorks are super squishy, so it really doesn't do much for you in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, it's not going to keep you alive.
the operative scoundrels actually have to be up close, where the Sorks and the whatever the Jedi are called, have to or more of a range. I mean, that's why the scoundrels and the operatives needed that energy or that health back because they're always in there right in people's faces and having to, if the healer's standing right in the middle of the other group, they're having to run in there to try and get the healer, being surrounded by the enemy. So that's where that healing would be more beneficial and more needed for that class.
I
So
think
yeah, I
adding a
definitely think.
second tier little skill in the tree, a second tier that say either the scrapper or the dirty fighter could get to, that reduced AoE damage would help them in PvP immensely. I think Aikion brings up a great subject. Definitely has to be a second
See,
tier
I
for
would
them to
actually,
understand.
I would not drop it that low
Oh, you
because
wouldn't?
then you'd have the Sawbones dipping over into it.
Oh.
Much rather the dirty fighting and the scrappers had their own defensive abilities and have them be different and deeper in the trees that the Sawbones couldn't get.
Okay. No, I can understand that because what you're talking about is making it so that it's not as overpowered on the healing side. Because if it was
Exactly. I
secondary,
don't want
you
to
definitely
provide
have
any
them
buffs to
being.
Sawbones.
Okay, yeah, because they're already as I think we all can agree, big that they are all very very powerful, even when you don't know
They're
anything.
not as powerful as they were in, I believe, patch 1.4 when they rebalanced the expertise because they were rolling juggernauts for a while, and you
Oh
just
yeah.
couldn't drat down one. Even if you had all 8 members of the opposing team attacking you, if you had a guard up, you were invincible.
Actually, let me ask you about the recent change they made it so when you were in cover, that you couldn't be jumped to. Is that, I mean, were you using cover a lot so you couldn't be jumped to and or pushed and pulled at all as a DPS, or was that just more of healers using that?
It was hard to use as DPS. If you're up against a leaper, it was definitely something that I would do. There's only one ability that you can't do while rooted. Problem is that a lot of the melee abilities are 4 meter ranges, so it didn't leave a lot of room for, say, Scrapper to do. But it benefited Dirty Fighting. The
Oh yeah.
Dirty Fighting was, oh, ridiculous, because you could just drop into cover. They couldn't leap at you. You slowed them. And see, that's another thing from the Dirty Fighting tree that Scrapper doesn't have. Scrapper doesn't have a spammable slow. It's got one slow, it's okay, it's got a root, but it needs a secondary slow on something because all the other melee classes have some sort of secondary slow that they could put on. And so again, parity, I want AoE reduction in Scrapper. I want the healing brought back in from Surprise Comeback. I want uh, not now that they took our cover mechanic from, and then a slight rebalancing of some of the abilities so that we can maybe get some interactivity, get some stacking buffs, so I can, do the burst when I want to. I can work up towards it, that it doesn't have to always be like that. Another thing that got brought up, I believe on the Scoundrel forums, or I believe Reddit, I'm not sure exactly where the idea genesis that, but if you could turn the sneak thing that we have, I believe it's fight or flight, and I'm not sure which one it is. It's Ghost over on the the Imperial side. If you could turn that into like a forced camouflage that you can use it outside of use your like shoot first hinge strike outside of stealth, or that it could temporarily stealth you but not remove you from combat, could provide the necessary thing that you wouldn't need the AoE reduction maybe because it would allow another escape. So maybe trade the AoE reduction for an escape ability like that that can also be turned around to a DPS ability because you're not going to get it back to back because shoot first and hinge strike already have the 8 or 9 second cooldown.
No, it is.
It's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff to throw out.
No, it is, but I think that these are all important things that when you talk about making a class more viable, and if you come up with anything else as we go into the Reddit where you can post up things, but I know we got to move on. We gave you so much more time than we would probably get if any other Joe Schmo to talk about the class, but I think it was good. It was a good topic, So
Sorry, I got a lot to talk about.
no, no, and that's
Well,
great.
no, and the good Well, yeah, I mean, good thing about, having a debate about this, I mean, because something like this is just so hard to put into words and to sit down there and write a post about, and I think having an open discussion and talk back about it, just helps bring to light the topic so much more than just, writing a bit of information can do. So, yeah, no, it was great having you on talking about it.
Yeah, and I think you're gonna. I want you to stay on and play Big's little game with us. What do we call this game again, Big? It's like guest topic. We're moving into that right now. And supposedly he's got better rules this time, so I don't just win all the time because I'm just great at this game. Like it's ridiculous.
No, he's not great as much as he just cheats.
I didn't cheat. I just said straight up, I'm the
You
host
do
and I'm
too.
right.
You cheat.
I
Yeah,
just
that's cheating.
all right, all right. I won't do that tonight. We'll play fair. And so Big has new rules for it. Let's go over this, Big.
Okay, well the first rule is I'm giving Aikion a point just because he's the guest tonight.
Oh my God, dude,
Okay.
come on. This isn't gonna be another like we've got a super awesome host and we're just gonna let them get away with everything tonight, is it? Come on now. This ain't another
When have
podcast.
we had a
We're
super
gonna
awesome
be in. I'm
host?
gonna tell Aikion that he's wrong about all his opinions and that I'm right. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just messing with
Sounds
you.
like McGill.
Okay, well the name of the game is Names Are Nonsense, and this is going to actually be Vendor Trash Edition. Um, I what I went through is found some names of some vendor trash that you'd go through and find on your adventures in SOTOR, and I made up somewhat of a equal equivalent one, which is random nonsense. So I'm going to read you each of the two, and then you guys have to let me know which one you think is the real vendor trash.
Which I'm always
You
right.
guys got it?
So let's go. So basically, we'll
All
go in
right. First, we're
circles.
gonna.
First one, it'll be Aikion, and then Talons, then me, and I'll always agree with Talons. And then it'll go Talons, Aikion, then me, and then we'll go back and forth. I'm always last, is what I. No, I'm just
All right. Well, Rondo's going first here.
kidding. Oh man, I'm screwed. There's 1 point missed.
All right. So again, you guys tell me which one is real or. So we either got Lucky Saber or your Lucky Coin.
Oh, Lucky
Which one
Coin
is real vendor trap?
is dang. Lucky Saber is trash. I know the Lucky Coin is something.
Well, the vendor trash is what actually drops, and then the other one would be nonsense I made up. So which one
Oh,
is their vendor trash?
a vendor trash is Lucky Coin.
Aikion?
Yeah, it's Lucky Coin.
Talent?
I just gotta go against what they said, so I'm gonna go Lucky Saber.
You're so missing a point right now. Take his point,
I
Big.
know.
Yes, you are.
That's right.
They both got a point there. Your Lucky Coin is a trash drop.
See,
Generally, I think
if you
found
were
in like
really a
Bell
force
Savis and
user like
Corelli.
Luke Skywalker right here, who's right above me, you would have known this, Talons. I'm pointing at him. My super awesome picture that my wife bought me. We can continue now.
And I actually used to
Yeah,
keep I used to keep my Lucky Coin in my inventory for a long time, but then I accidentally sold it, and I haven't had a chance to go farm one yet.
he's gonna. Rondo's gonna fap it to that painting later. Just so you guys know.
That's an awesome painting, though, by the way.
No, it is.
All right,
It's nice.
moving on to the next one. We got green goo or green slimy scales. So which one's the vendor trash? Talon? Green goo or
Uh,
green slimy scale?
green slimy scales.
Rondo?
Green slimy scales.
Rondo's
Aikion?
never had an original thought in his life.
Well, since I know green goo is a biological compound, I'm going to go with green slimy scales.
See, Big, you can't
Damn, I
fool
thought
him,
I'd trick
man. You can't fool. He tries to trick me with the most god awful tricks ever. Like last week, it was like, or what was it week? The week before, it was uh what is the real achievement? Sunshines and rainbows, or you're a Sith. Like
That was
what, dude?
that was actually one of my joke ones that actually got left in there, so I figured I'd went with it. All right. All right, moving on. You either got your pocket repair kit or your boot repair kit. Aikion, which one's a vendor trash?
I'm going to say, pocket repair kit.
I was gonna say pocket repair kit, but
Talent.
for to not so Talons doesn't make fun of me again, I'm gonna go boot repair kit because I knew he was gonna make fun of me if I said with Aikion.
Well,
Talent.
since Rondo's always wrong, I'm gonna go pocket repair kit.
Yeah, you would be right disagreeing with Rondo. It is a pocket repair kit. It's an actual drop.
See, I wanted to say pocket repair kit, but I'm tired of getting made fun of.
I pressured you into losing a point.
You did. you're a good Sith that way, Talons. You're a good Sith. You just have no force. That's how you're a bad
Totally.
Sith.
That was mind manipulation right there.
See, Aikion, this is what I put up
Have
with in
you
the guild.
trained your apprentice?
He tried, but he has no
I,
force.
well, see, I noticed the little doggy a couple minutes ago, and I was wondering if he was training his apprentice in the form. I know the
That's my
cats are good apprentices. I wondered if the dogs were.
Oh, I was gonna tell you, in order to support Reddit, I made a Cathar operative because when I heard you were Beyond, because you're the SWTOR Reddit guy, I made a cat operative earlier.
she she's a great apprentice because she does whatever I say and she loves me. So
All right,
Did you make it female, and did you put bacon in the name?
I did not make it bacon. I called it Rondo because I have no, but it's a cat.
Oh, you got to re-roll.
I do have to re-roll bacon. All
Yep,
right,
you
Big,
got
what's
it's
up?
got to be Darth Bacon.
Go.
All right,
I'm
next
right
one.
this time. I'm going first this time, so they'll all disagree with me, and I'll be right.
Okay, large talon or beast talon? Which one's vendor trap?
Large Talon. Because
large
Talon looks
talon,
trash no
everyone
matter
knows it.
what. So,
Oh, you don't
Large
even know how to
talon.
spell talon.
Aikion said Large Talon.
You'd all be
Talon.
right there.
Talon's didn't guess yet. He's wrong. He's
I
wrong.
said large talon, and
Oh my goodness.
no, I'm not.
I'm gonna
You
recheck.
you can't spell talon, so you can't even comment on.
That's true. All right, one more. What you got for us, Big? Make this one a doozy. All
All right,
right.
all right. You got your disgusting alien drink or your tasty Corellian drink.
Tasty Corellian drink. They don't have no a. Oh my God, you're tricking me, aren't you, Big? All right, because I think that I'm right on this one, I'm gonna do. I've been watching Looney Tunes, man, and they have this one, the new Looney Tunes, where you always got to say what you don't think. So I'm gonna go tasty alien drink. God, you're tricking me, and I overthought it
Wait, you're taking life advice from Looney Tunes?
Hey,
It's
you
it's
know me,
perfect
Talons.
advice.
That's great advice. That's the only
Don't
advice
you know
I
you
give
won't
is
fall
Looney
down?
Tunes.
Don't you know you won't fall as long as you don't look down? You know?
That's true.
Come on.
Oh, right. And you can drop an anvil on your head and be perfectly okay.
All right, stop it. What's your answer?
All right, Talon. Which one? Disgusting alien drink or tasty Corellian drink?
Tasty Corellian drink.
Gonna have to go with tasty Corellian drink as well.
You would be wrong. It's a disgusting alien drink is the actual vendor
Looney
track.
Tunes wins.
Ha ha ha.
Looney Tunes wins. That's all I gotta say. You guys should have
Wait,
cheese.
wait. So the final score here is Aikion and Rondo are now tied. So I think we're
No,
gonna
well
have
I
to have
win.
one more for a. Oh no, wait, I'm sorry. Aikion gets his free point for being the guest. So
Oh,
Aikion, you are now the winner. Good job.
you beat
Nice.
me by being the guest.
Well,
I
I
hate
mean,
it.
I try very hard.
All right, so the last but not least, we're going to go over a little bit of Reddit news. What do you got for us this week, Big? I didn't have a chance. I spent most of my time leveling an operative to check out what's going on Reddit. So let's just take a couple quick looks at what's going on in the Reddit news for this week.
First on the school one that I saw posted was the fan fiction spotlight. It was the a legacy novel by Crystal DS or DCS Storm. I'll put the link in here in our show notes. But yeah, she just wrote a fan fiction novel, and I've partially through it, and it's been a good read so far. I'm
Do you have a
gonna
link
try and
for
get
us? Is it
finishing it up
free?
this week. Yeah, it's a free novel that she gave out. You can get and she made a little trailer video as well too. So yeah, I'll post up the link so everyone can get a download and read it. And if you like the other universe books about SOTOR, then you're definitely gonna like this one.
So who is this person? Is it she's an
What
author?
what I yeah what no just what I read. It was just kind of someone posting some stuff over the lore section of the SOTOR forums, and it just kind of grew into an actual novel that she kind of wrote. So.
And is it
Just interesting how those
is it
things can.
actually novel, like a full-length novel?
Yeah, I mean it's like I said, it's I don't know the exact number of pages. When I load up on my thing, I didn't look at the exact ones, but yeah, I mean it's written pretty well. Good plot to it. So,
No, I love that. I
like I
love
said, I'm
writing
interested in.
myself, and yeah, because I do. You guys all know in the guild, and anybody who doesn't know, I part time as a cinematographer. So I love writing. I love doing story-based stuff. That's really cool. And I hadn't heard of this. I spent the whole week writing, finishing up my, well, doing my operative and finishing up my guide, which is on Reddit at the moment. That I didn't hear about this, and this is
It's a
actually
hundred.
super cool to me. To me, this is really impressive that somebody really did this.
Yeah, it's
Most
190 pages.
impressive.
190 pages. Yeah. I mean, once I finish the anybody, I started reading the comics. They're the Star Wars Legacy. Yeah, Legacy comics with Cade Skywalker and Darth Talons, who Talons named himself after. I've started reading that. Once I'm done with that, I'm gonna have to check this out. Are you gonna put up a link for us, Big?
Yeah, I'll put it up in the show notes so
Cool.
everyone can check it out. Did you get a chance to check it out, Aikion, or did you see that one?
I did not actually see that one. I went just now through our SWOTR and I found it because I mean I approve a lot of the submissions that go through our SWOTR if they're not tagged properly. And I see the link got posted through Tor Wars. It looked like.
Yeah, they were the one that kind of spotlighted it and yeah, and pointed it out. So yeah, Tor Wars is a good site for pointing out that type of stuff. So
Anything else? Well, I think I already mentioned that I came up with my own guide. It's doing pretty good. I mean, I think I've had, well, for me, it's good because I'm a nobody in the SWOTOR business. But I think I'm over 1,000 views on it, and then I think I've started up a debate on Pyro Merc. About a couple things. Go check it out on Reddit. Some people are clashing on what they think the clash really is. Not in a big way, but I mean, I thought it was really cool. Some of the things they were talking about. You can check
Leave it
that
to
out.
Rondo to make people argue.
Yeah, but I think the
Well,
guide
I
came
don't
out
know if
good.
you missed it,
I'm sorry.
but there was a Reddit post this week where they linked to Amazon as having a sale on cartel coins, and they're like $5 off. And so I bought way too many cartel coins this week.
Did you really? That's the
Oh
second
yeah,
time
I
they've done
saw it.
that. And
It was like
is it?
25% off or something.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
because
it's still up right now,
yeah, we'll actually put a
and it
link in our.
came out to yeah, it comes out to 137.5 or no, 160 per dollar, sorry. And it's the best way to buy it.
so
And how long is that
my
going for?
question
Do you
for you,
know?
Aikion, what did you do with those cartel coins
I gave some away to my guild members.
for Christmas or the holiday? Sorry,
Yep.
we gotta be
A few
politically
people
correct.
that I enjoy
For Life Day, of course.
Life Day.
for Life Day, sure.
Did you guys see that they linked um, the holiday special for Star Wars, the holiday special, and they're like, "Here's for you as thanks for, for the 2 years." And somebody, I thought the greatest comment from that, and this is my Reddit news of the week, the greatest comment for the holiday special was, uh, "What do you hate us?" Because everybody knows that that was probably the most god awful piece of work that was ever put out on national television.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it
Does
was.
Jersey Shore count?
Dude, you just corrected me. That was awesome.
Yeah, and I think it was SOTOR Strategies that kind of had posted out some bit of information about that and a little history and Lucas's reaction to the whole
Well,
holiday
you can't
special.
have a
So I'll put a
reaction if
link to.
there is no reaction. He claims it doesn't exist. Did you see the Han Solo or was who plays Han Solo? I should know this. See this? I have these brain farts from stupidity as a young
Harrison
kid.
Ford?
Harrison Ford, thank you. Who's on my you know what list because he refuses to do the new Star Wars unless they do another Indiana Jones. So I just want to put that out there. He's on my S list. Um, but they did an interview with Conan where Conan showed a clip of it, and I thought that was the most hilarious clip I've seen in a long time, where he finally has to admit that this did take place at some point in time.
So, yeah, I don't know why. Well, that's a whole nother thing about Indiana Jones. Probably way off
Well,
topic.
he probably just doesn't want the last Indiana Jones in history to be garbage.
Yeah, they should have left it at the last one, the one
So
before that.
he's got to have one more chance.
I agree. Give him a
Uh,
chance and
I,
let him be Han again.
I don't think that the last Indiana Jones was that god awful compared to some of the other ones. You know, everybody likes Temple of Doom, but I kind of hated Temple of Doom.
I'm not a
And I
big
would
Indiana
rank
Jones fan.
Crystal
I
Skull
have to
above that.
agree with you. I'm not a big Indiana Jones fan in the first place. They never made like
Kalima.
everybody's like Oh, I mean, I know we're getting off topic here, but we got to talk about this really quick. With Indiana Jones, everybody
Amam
gets
Shemai,
upset
Amam
because
Shemai.
they're like, the skulls didn't make sense. Well, I'm sorry, and half the freaking voodoo stuff they were doing in the other ones don't make sense either. So, who cares if they brought aliens in? It's supposed to be history. I mean, we got the History Channel doing a stupid show about ancient aliens with a guy with hair that freaking flips out into God knows the
Like mine.
atmosphere, you know?
The answer is aliens.
The answer is
I don't know. My favorite
aliens.
was the third one. My drawing a blank now. What's the one with the Nazis
The
and
Last Crusade.
yeah, Last Crusade. I think that
Yeah,
would be my favorite.
that would be my favorite. Then I'd rank Raiders of the Lost Ark, and then it would be Crystal Skull, and then it would be the Temple of Doom.
Oh, what?
You have
Crystal Skull
chose
before Temple of Doom?
poorly.
Yeah,
He's pulling. Okay, just to
there's
let
no
you know,
way.
Talon's pulled out his lightsaber. There's trouble amiss, Aikion. Talon thinks he's a Jedi. Just run before he beats you over the head with a stick.
That's okay. He won't find me.
That's right. That's true because this is the internet and we can say whatever we want on the internet. Anyways, let's not
All
end
right.
a SWOTOR podcast on Indiana Jones. Let's go one more. Let's go one more.
All right, I got it was just a thank you by an ex-BioWare employee. Didn't say exactly which one, who they were, but just, was given a mention about things that were in the work, about possible planets, races, and ships and mini games that unfortunately, well, as of yet, haven't made it into the game. But they have some of the groundwork. I guess that's possibly still in there. That maybe we'll have some more ships and other races coming soon.
Okay, okay. So let's get on this real quick, and I want to hear your guys' thought process, Aikion and Talons for sure. BioWare
Oh, one of my
is
chop liver.
well,
Not so much big.
not so much big, but
You can.
BioWare is speciesist instead of racist. Because here's what I'm saying. Why are they only picking humanoid-looking guys? And in the lore, Cathars were supposed to be some cat-looking, crazy, crazy like Lionel-looking people. Just crazy, and they turned him into what? A humanoid that is not scary at all, that roars and because you can get the what is it, the species thing where you roar and everybody
Well, it's the
around you
whole
gets
armor
scared.
model thing, trying to.
I You know what? Let's get some real aliens. Let's get some Wookiees. Let's get some, yeah, I feel this is what I'm saying. BioWare is worse than the Imperials because the Imperials slaved the Wookiees and BioWare just pretends like they don't exist.
I will tell you the official BioWare response on why we do not have Wookiees and all those other non-humanoid, non-basic speaking races.
Yeah.
And the
Because their
official
hair
BioWare
clogs the
line,
drain.
no, the official BioWare line is that when they tried it in cutscenes, if they spoke more than about 3 lines of the alien speech, it just players got turned off from it. And so they said,
I
well, you've got
spacebarred
to
it.
be able to speak. Yeah, they got to be able to speak basic because it causes too many problems. I wish they had the option. I'd love to play a Wookiee or some other character like that because I think it'd be great.
Well, screw the
Especially a
Wookiee.
Wookiee
There's
in
a
the
lot of
Empire, like a
alien.
Sith sorcerer that's a Wookiee.
Okay, but
Hilarious.
here's the thing though, Aikion, with
That'd
that.
be
You
dangerous.
have the Chiss
You might start yourself on fire.
on Hoth, and Chiss speak their alien language. So why can't we have other aliens? What are the tentacle-looking head ones? I think those guys would be amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that again, it's the Twi'lek problem, and again, all over.
With the
if
whole
you had
clipping
Wookiees
and the.
speaking basic, you'd have uproar. I mean, you can't really have
Quite
both.
literally.
Yeah, good one, or lack thereof.
Well, no, not
But
Wookiees.
no, I mean,
Not Wookiees. I can understand that. Spacebar through a Wookiee, but I still think it would be fun to play a Wookiee. And you know what? Now that okay, so now that it's not as important, the storyline isn't as important. Offer Wookiee-based classes to level 55s.
what
You
about
Well,
can't change the Cathars. You can
the
change the
throat?
Cathar.
Oh, I forget what they're
the
called, but you know the throat guys that like scream with their throat and they got like the gills.
Yeah,
They're the really long heads of the eyeballs and stuff. I forget their race, but those would be a cool one.
yeah. I think that
well, and
make excuses all you want, but offer it to a 55, and I guarantee they'll pay the cartel coins for it. And like I said
Or
before,
kit,
attack their wallet.
Kit Fisto's race would be cool too. It's humanoid, but and they have them as NPCs in game. Same with Plo Kloons. I don't remember the name of their race, but those would both be cool races, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, the other official bio reason is the whole armor model thing is like he was saying about the Twi'leks and stuff is the whole clipping and that type of stuff. I mean, they'd have to go through and try and restructure every single armor model to make sure you don't have clipping
They
or
still haven't
because
fixed
they're
that
going to get
though,
it.
because my Twi'leks, I wear
Yeah,
the cool.
they still haven't fixed that.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wear the really cool helm that you get for playing. What is it? The one, the Bounty Hunter Brokers Association. You get the cool helm with the mask over it. I wear that, and my Twi'leks thing just shoot out of that sucker, and I don't know what they could do to that. I mean, I would just take the World of Warcraft thing of it happens, it happens. You know.
Yeah, get over
Well,
it.
we know they are adding one more species to the game due to a SWTOR miner post. I forget which. It's like three or
Ooh,
four back, I think, at this point.
I didn't see
They're
that.
adding Bothans. I'm not sure they're going to be playable, I don't think. He didn't
Oh,
say anything about
Bothans. I
playable
dig the
race.
Bothans because you know why I dig the Bothans? Because I would make my operative a Bothan because they're they're the wolfy ones, if I remember correctly.
Bothans are only good for one thing, and that's killing. All right,
Yeah, Bothans
so
are definitely well, they'll stab you in the back, and I think that's perfect for an operative. So, hey, you know what?
Well, they had Bothan
I'm sorry.
in Star Wars Galaxy as a playable race too, so maybe a
They had
chance.
a lot more than just Bothans, dude. They had all kinds of cool alien races. And that's something I hope that in the future. I mean, we're 2 years in. We're 2 years in. What are we expecting? All kinds of crazy stuff. I am, but that's just because I'm impatient. But they have a lot of room to perfect, and I think they've done a great job. Um, and just keep it up. And this wasn't. That was just just to tell them keep it up if they listen, which they don't. So. Anything else you got to say, Aikion, before we end it? Hey, just remember, you're always welcome, and it was a pleasure to have you again. That's why we kept you on for the whole time. It was great to have you on. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you want to have a discussion about dirty fighting DPS, I'm up for that at any point. Like if you want to split that out a separate video, I could tell you all about it, how to play it, all that sort of stuff.
I think that if you ever want to put out anything about dirty fighting, maybe maybe a month or two down the line, I would love to have you back on because I'll be well into lethality by then because I'm having a blast with the lethality. Which, if anybody knows, lethality is the mirror to dirty fighting, and me and you could just go. We could kick all of them off, and we could go an hour and talk about it. So I think there's a lot to talk about when it comes to dirty fighting, and I would love to have you back on. So I think that's a date, dude. That's a date. Here in a little while. Let me get a little bit further in, so I have something to
Got
talk
some
about.
bromance going on
There's some
here.
bromance going, right? Hey, just remember.
Could have
So
some
thank you for
candles.
queuing in and watching into episode 16. Remember that you can see us at www.42gaming.com. And if you need to know anything that's SWTOR related for our Jedit guy, Aikion, you can go to Reddit, the SWTOR Reddit. Just in Google, type in SWTOR Reddit, and at any time you can find us there talking business. And actually, it's probably one of the greatest um, tools for Star Wars: The Old Republic at the moment. Remember, if it's red, it's dead in the PvP section, and PvE. Enjoy your time. We got some great content at the moment. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week on episode 17.